So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN.
So, I wake up this morning to a flood of phone calls from reporters all asking the same question. Is Jake Paul really fighting Ryan Garcia? Let me stop that rumor right here. That fight is not happening, and I'll tell you exactly why. Ryan Garcia fights under Golden Boy Promotions, and his bouts air on DAZN. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has his deal with Netflix. That right there ends the conversation. These are two totally separate networks with exclusive contracts, and boxing doesn't work that way. Golden Boy has a binding deal with DAZN. Ryan has a legal contract with Golden Boy. This isn't about emotions, it's about business and contracts. You can't just walk away from legal agreements because of hype or social media buzz. Now, I know Ryan might jump online saying things like, they're keeping me from making money, or they don't want me to fight, but that's not true. Nobody is stopping him from fighting, he just has to do it within the rules of the sport. There's a system, and everyone has to follow it. The law.
Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy, and that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia is probably going to go on a rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next.
The contracts, the promotional structure, it's all there for a reason. You can't just decide to fight someone on another platform when you're signed to a deal. That's not how boxing works. So, let me make this clear, Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia is not happening, period. Ryan's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, when, and where. Until then, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz's fight. Now, people have been asking, what's next for Ryan Garcia? When's he coming back? Who could he face? Well, the plan is for Ryan to return in the first quarter of next year. There have been several names discussed, Rolando Rolly Romero, Mario Barrios, and a few others.
See you guys.
What's the latest with Ryan, Oscar? When do we see him back? Who are you guys thinking for him?
Yeah, first quarter of next year. You know, there's been talks. There's been talks of several guys like Rolly's, obviously, and the guy who Pacquiao had a draw with, Mario Barrios. So there's been other guys that we've been talking about. See, one thing about Ryan is that he can fight in several weight classes. If you think about it, you know, he can be at 140, 47, even 54, I believe he can fight. So it all depends on what he wants to do and what agreement we come to as his promoters. So
one thing about Ryan is that he's a flexible fighter. He can move across multiple weight divisions. He's comfortable at 140 pounds. He can go up to 147, and even 154 if needed. It depends on what Ryan wants, and what we, as his promoters, agree is best for his career. But yes, expect his comeback early next year, that's the goal. Now, let's talk about my relationship with Ryan. Honestly, it needs some work. There's been a lot of noise, a lot of confusion, and frankly, a lot of lies being told to him. I don't even know where some of it is coming from, but somewhere along the line, people started whispering in his ear, twisting things, creating tension. It's unfortunate.
So, but I do see Ryan Garcia coming back in first quarter of next year.
How's the relationship with Ryan now?
I think it needs some work and some clarification. I think Ryan has been fed a lot of nonsense, a lot of lies, from who I don't know. But you know, I believe that what I've done for Ryan's career, I mean, there's no argument that I've done my very best. You know, but it's up to him inside the ring, and that's the bottom line. You know, we can get him to the water, but we can't get him to drink the water. You know, it's just the way it is. And but I believe in Ryan. I believe that if he's focused, if he's determined, if he has a new trainer, if he takes the sport serious, if he goes out to Big Bear or somewhere, or just stays focused and trains hard on what he loves doing, because I believe that Ryan loves to train. He loves to box. He just needs that to be in that mental state of mind that is going to be just 1,000%, you know, in line, you know, with boxing and fighting and world champion. You know, that's got to be his mentality. So I believe he has it in him. You know, we're just you know, anxious and waiting for his return, and we'll have something ready for you in the next couple of months.
Yeah, like I read a thing that said that you don't talk to Ryan, you have to talk to him through a manager. Why is that? And I don't know, like, how did it get to that point?
I think the way it got to that point was, again, whispers in fighters' ears. You know, because you can ask any fighter, literally any fighter, including Canelo. You can ask any fighter how Oscar treats you, you know? And just like any fan out in the street, if you ask them, how was Oscar? How did he treat you? Oh my gosh, he was nice. Oh my gosh, he gave us time and autographs and pictures. It's mind-boggling to me how many whispers are out there in fighters' ears. And then the fighters are convinced that I'm against them. It's pretty...
The old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's where we are. Ryan has incredible potential. I truly believe in him. If he stays focused, stays disciplined, gets a strong trainer, and commits fully to boxing, he can reach the top again. He loves to train. He loves the sport. He just needs that 1000% mental focus, that mindset that says, I'm all in. When Ryan's mentally locked in, he's one of the most talented fighters on the planet, and that's why we're excited for his return. We're working behind the scenes, and we'll have something ready for everyone soon. Now, a lot of people have noticed that Ryan and I haven't spoken directly lately. Communication mostly happens through his manager. People ask, why is that? Honestly, it's because of all those whispers, people putting things in fighters' heads, and I'll tell you this, you can ask any fighter who's worked with me, even Canelo Alvarez, how Oscar treats them. I've always respected my fighters. I give fans my time. I take pictures. I sign autographs. That's who I am. So, it's crazy to me that these rumors exist, that some fighters are convinced I'm against them. It's mind-boggling, and you'll notice it's only happened with my biggest stars, Canelo and Ryan. Maybe it's because they're popular. Maybe some people around them are jealous or trying to drive a wedge between us. I don't know, but all I've ever done is good for their careers. Now let me set the record straight. Ryan Garcia is not on his last fight with Golden Boy. He still has a multi-fight, multi-year deal with us. We're honoring that deal, and I'm confident Ryan will too. We're going to keep doing everything we can to help him succeed. And yes, I'm hopeful our relationship gets better. I'd love to sit down with him, talk it out, and clear the air. Because I remember when Ryan first walked into my office, he was just 17 years old, sitting there with his parents. I laid out his entire career plan right in front of him. I told him, stay focused, stay determined, stay hungry. And now, look at where he's at. He's a superstar. Things got tough, like I warned him they would, but I believe he's strong enough, mentally and physically, to come back better than ever. As for his next opponent, there are options, but let me be honest. I'm not a fan of a rematch with Rolly Romero. That first fight wasn't exciting. It was dull. It lacked energy. Sure, Rolly won, but it wasn't a fight fans are begging to see again. I'd rather see Ryan against someone like Mario Barrios, or maybe even go up and wait to face a big name like Manny Pacquiao. Why not? There are plenty of great matchups out there, real fights that would excite fans and challenge Ryan. So, to wrap this up, Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia? Not happening. Ryan's comeback? Coming soon. And his future with Golden Boy? Still solid and full of potential. Stay tuned, big news is on the way.
Years old with his parents, and I laid out his whole career right in front of them. And sure enough, I told him, stay focused, stay determined, stay hungry. You know, when you become a superstar, things are going to get tough. It's not going to be easy. And I mean, look at where he's at now. I believe that Ryan is strong enough physically and mentally to come back and be one of the greats.
Out of those names that you mentioned, Oscar, to you, which one makes the most sense between, you know, a Rolly rematch, Barrios, or someone else in a different weight class?
I don't mind him fighting for a world title next. I mean, he's only been off for several months. He has no injuries whatsoever. I do not like the Rollies fight, and I'll tell you why. Because the first one was boring. The first one was not exciting. The first one, I mean, it was an okay fight. Yes, Rollies beat him and he knocked him down, but it was a very dull fight. I'm a boxing fan first, and as a boxing fan, I'm not really too excited about a rematch. You know, I would rather maybe even see him with, I don't know, a Barrios maybe. You know, there's, like I said, Ryan can go up to 47 and fight other guys as well in that weight class. Maybe even a Manny Pacquiao.